Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. As signed by His Majesty, His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said concludes his participation in the first League of Arab States European Union Summit in Sharm el-Sheikh. At the end of the first League of Arab States European Union Summit, the Egyptian president stresses on the importance of finding a joint strategic vision towards the international issues. 45% of the construction works in Ghazir field within Kazan Gas Project is achieved. And the American author Thomas Friedman said to the Sultanate of Oman television the following.
I think there is an Omani model. It's unique to your experience, your geography, your history. But the Middle East would be better off if that model were embraced by other people. I have no problem saying that.
Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, concluded his participation in the first League of Arab States European Union Summit, which is being held in the city of Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. The works of the summit ended as the Egyptian president stressed on the importance of finding a joint strategic visions towards the international issues. The summit aimed at strengthening Arab Union relations in all aspects and focusing on a number of common issues and challenges, including trade and investment, migration and security, as well as the situation in the region. It's worth mentioning that the relations between the Arab and European states in the last years witnessed a noticeable growth through dialogue and cooperation between the Arab Leagues and the European Union. The construction works in Ghazir field within Kazan Gas Project achieved 45%. Oman BP company expected that the production will start in 2021 with production volume of half a billion cubic feet daily. This field is considered as the second stage of Kazan project, which started production on its first stage in September 2017 by producing 1 billion cubic feet of gas every day. The investments of the project on its first and second stages reached $16 billion as capital expenses. Thomas Friedman, American political commentator and author, expressed his admiration of the Omani model in development, politics, education, human resources growth, Omani history and civilization, pointing out that the region will be in a better situation if it adopted this model. This came in an exclusive interview to the Sultanate of Oman television.
I'm so impressed at the development model here. First of all, the embrace of pluralism. Pluralism of ideas, of people. You know, in the natural world, the most diverse ecosystems are also the healthiest and most high-growth ecosystems. It's actually true in the real world as well. You can't drive around Muscat, a city I visited 40 years ago. It was just a tiny town of a bunch of white buildings and the Intercontinental Hotel where I stayed. That's about all I remember. But this is such a beautiful city. It's planned, it's orderly, it's clean. But it's not sterile. It reflects the culture, the way the buildings are built, all in a kind of Islamic, Arab style. You've taken care of your environment. You've taken care of your wilderness, of the ocean and whatnot. I visited your opera house next to a beautiful mosque, opera house and a mosque, and a cultural center. Very interesting to me. This is a world class. I go to a lot of book festivals. I get invited to book festivals all over the world. If there's a better one than yours, I have in terms of attracting people, publishers, There are 4 million people in this country, and like 1 out of 3 go to the book festival. It's unbelievable. You know, I mean, that doesn't happen anywhere. I think there is an Omani model. It's unique to your experience, your geography, your history. But the Middle East would be better off if that model were embraced by other people. I have no problem saying that.
The Government Communications Center affiliated to the Secretariat General of the Council of Ministers pointed out that there is a variation in communication and media activities by the governmental institutions through various media means. This came in the 10th Government Communications of Meeting, which clarified that the Center's strategy project will work on finding a link in communication process between the government media and society segments in order to avoid any unrealistic perceptions and queries by the members of the society. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Dr. Abdul Munaim bin Mansour Al-Ahsani, Minister of Information. The main committee of Shura Council members election for the 9th period approved the e-election program. During the second meeting, the committee discussed a number of issues in the agenda and took the appropriate decisions. His Excellency Engineer Khalid bin Hilal Al-Busaidi, the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Interior, chaired the committee meeting. Still to come, our news bulletin. The state of Kuwait celebrates the 58th anniversary of its National Day.
Why is competition good for businesses? Businesses compete in things like price, quality, and service to win new customers who could be other businesses as well as consumers. Being competitive can mean more customers choose you rather than your rivals. But when businesses collude and don't compete, this can lower down the quality and service, and the consumers paying more than they should. This is an unlawful practice and can stop consumers from getting more options on goods and services with better quality and better prices. That's why the Competition Protection and Monopoly Prevention Law was issued to regulate the freedom of practicing any economic activities and stabilize the principles of the market rules and freedom of pricing in such manner that the same shall not restrict competition, prevent the same, or be negatively affected, thereby to benefit consumers, businesses, and the national economy. Breaching any of the law's clauses could lead to prison sentences and fines up to 100,000 Omani Riyals. The punishment can also include paying 10% of the total annual sales of the products subject of the violation, as well as damage to the business's reputation. Help us in preventing anti-competitive activities by contacting the following numbers. And to know more about the law and the prohibited activities, please visit our website www.cmc.om. Competition Protection and Monopoly Prevention Center.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Minister of Tourism, with his counterparts in the Arab League and Arab Tourism Organization, are celebrating Arab Tourism Day, which falls on the 25th of February every year. In the meantime, an international report showing that an accelerated growth was recorded in the tourism sector in the Sultanate during the past few years. The celebration aimed at highlighting the cultural and tourism landmarks in the Arab countries within the sustainable development through various programs that come within the objectives of the Arab Ministerial Council for Tourism and the Arab Tourism Organization in efforts to make the Arab region as a tourist destination. It's worth mentioning that the key of the Arab Tourism 2018 was handed over to His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser Al-Mahrizi, Minister of Tourism, who is the second at the Arab level who won this honoring. The Minister of Health, represented by the Blood Bank Services Department, launched the nucleic acid testing NAT under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al Husni, Ministry of Health Under Secretary for Health Affairs at the Crown Plaza Hotel. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
The Blood Banks Services Department at the Ministry of Health launched today nucleic acid testing NAT. The Minister of Health has made continuous efforts to provide the safe blood through implementing a number of strategies and policies, starting from stop importing blood and relying entirely on the generosity of the Sultanate citizens and residents. Dr. Zainab, Director in Charge, said that the NAT is a highly sensitive testing technique detecting the hepatitis B and C as well as the acquired immune deficiency. Hence, the test is done to reduce the risk of transfusion-transmitted infections. Introducing this new technique has gone through many challenges in terms of provision of financial resources, establishing the appropriate place at the central bank, blood bank, and the process of transporting samples from all the blood banks and connecting them electronically. This challenge was made possible to deal with through the cooperation between the blood banks of the governorates and the Royal Air Force of Oman to transfer the samples from the Sultan Qaboos Hospital in Salalah, Masira Hospital and Diba Hospital regularly. It's worth mentioning that so far over 47,000 blood units were tested, which have been collected in the 12 blood banks from across the Sultanate by the NAT technique. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The state of Kuwait celebrates the 58th anniversary of its National Day amid modern renaissance that has achieved aspirations of Kuwaiti citizens on development and modernization. This has been realized under the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jabir Al-Sabah, Emir of Kuwait. The 58th National Day is considered a golden opportunity to reminisce about the maritime history of Kuwait and Kuwait's experience in building ships and diving in order to search for pearls. The 58th National Day came as Kuwait is moving forward to continue the development of citizens as being a national priority through pioneering development plans. Kuwait also had enhanced the basic infrastructure of investment and providing skilled and trained national manpower. Within this context, the Sultanate and Kuwait is linked with strong ties, which was translated in political, economic and cultural cooperation between the two countries. His Majesty the Sultan and Emir of Kuwait played a major role in finding solutions for a number of crises in the regional and international level. Muscat Municipality organized an artistic exhibition in Beit al-Baranda entitled Discovering the Ink. The exhibition, which will be open until the 28th of this month, included 33 artistic pieces. 13 of them are in free calligraphy for Omani artist Abdulaziz Al-Muqbali, 10 water pieces for French artist Jir Al-Din, in addition to 10 artistic joint pieces for a number of artists that combined water drawings and calligraphy formations. The artistic pieces formed Omani nature, features from various governorates in the Sultanate, such as touristic landmarks, development buildings, old villages, crafts occupation, and other distinctive features of Omani nature. Under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Saad bin Mohammed Al-Marlouf Al-Saadi, Minister of Sports Affairs, a new partnership was signed between Sahara International and young racer Shihab Al-Habsi. More details in the following report by Abdullah Al-Rubai.
A ceremony was held this morning at Sheraton Hotel in the presence of His Excellency the Minister of Sports Affairs, a number of sponsors, other sports officials and enthusiasts gathered with the promising young racer Shihab Al-Habsi. During the meeting, a number of speeches were presented, some of which reviewed his achievements. Football goalkeeper Ali Al-Habsi delivered a message expressing his happiness at the level Shihab has reached. His trainer Kevin Day, director of the Formula 4 team in the United Arab Emirates, commended Shihab's performances. A new identity of Shihab was released, indicating that the identity will contribute to the management of Shihab's business professionally at international level.
Today I published my new logo, which is the eagle. So yeah, it's really nice to publish it. This is my car for 2019. So yeah, I'm really looking forward for this year. This year I have a lot of challenges to do and to face. So yeah, I'm really looking forward for it. Thank you.
Followed by partnership signing, Mr. Ahmed Al-Musallimi, Chief Executive Officer of Sohar International, and Shihab Al-Habsi announced that Sohar International will be exclusive sponsor of this season. Later, His Excellency the Minister of Sports Affairs honored the companies that have contributed in supporting Shihab.
This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Signed by His Majesty His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said, concludes his participation in the First League of Arab States European Union Summit in Sharm el-Sheikh. At the end of the First League of Arab States European Union Summit, the Egyptian President stresses on the importance of finding a joint strategic vision towards the international issues. "45% of the construction works of Ghazir field within Kazan Gas Project is achieved." And the American author Thomas Friedman said to the Sultan of Oman Television the following.
I think there is an Omani model. It's unique to your experience, your geography, your history. But the Middle East would be better off if that model were embraced by other people. I have no problem saying that.
With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom in the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.